Hi guys, Gavin from Off the Beach Marine. I've got our team rider Lockie White with us today. We're pretty excited to be going through the new range of F1 wings. We're going to do a comparison with the F1 Strike 5 metre, the new 6 metre CWC, and the Big Daddy, the 7 metre Strike CWC.
Okay, so we got the 5 metre in the front, and then the new 6 metre CWC. So obviously it's a slight difference in span. It's probably about one strut width either side.
Yeah, it's not much difference. It's probably 100 mil, I reckon, either side. So
yeah, for sure. And like most of the difference comes from fore and aft. So you can see that extra sail area really comes from in here. You've got the inflatable strut that gives it that extra shape and power. And what I was finding, the power is really coming from the leech flicking, so that batten has a bit of return and it gives you a hell of a lot of power.
Okay, so now we've got the 6, comparing that with the 7 metre CWC. So, Lockie, if you want to...
Yeah, for sure. So it's pretty similar difference, the step up from the 5 to the 6, now we're going 6 to the 7. It's a small difference in span again, so you've got a little bit of extra span, not much. And riding it yesterday, the 7 was super manageable. That little bit of extra span, you don't even feel it. Like you're not digging in the water or anything like that. And then so most of the extra sail area comes from that fore and aft sort of location and just carries through to the batten. Obviously the 6 has got the batten as well. So it's that similar power characteristic where you've got a heap of low end, and it's just got this really nice pumping feeling when this little batten sort of flicks, creating that extra power, and then once you're up and going, the shape that it gives from that little bit of extra stiffness, the thing just goes, it just flies upwind. So another awesome feature about the wings is the CWC wings is they've got links between all of the struts, so that it's a one valve pump up, so you only need to plug in once, pump it up. The 6 and the 7 are both 8 psi, and so super easy to set up, super quick, and get you on the water nice and fast. And then at the end of the day, when you go to pack up, you've got the valve and then a dump valve for the main strut. Deflates nice and quickly, rolls up, goes in the backpack, and away you go. It's perfect. This is the bag that it packs up into. End of the day, you got your board with you got your wing on your back. It can, and you got a nice handy shock cord there as well to put your pump in. So everything's all together and away you go.
We had both the 6 and the 7 out yesterday, and Lockie, he was on the Big Daddy here, the 7 metre. So what are your first thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a beautiful wing. There's a whole bunch of low end power. You can really sheet on it and get it going. We sort of had them out at the start in about 5 to 6 knots, and I was able to pump up onto foil in a 6 knot gust with a big board and a reasonable sized foil, and just flying around in barely any wind. Was awesome, really cool.
So yeah, I guess the big difference is with the 7 as opposed to the 6, there's definitely a larger leading edge on the wing, and also it's quite large through front to back as well. Overall, between the 6 and the 7, there's a little bit of difference between those two. How did you find jibing and I know you did some foiling tacks and that sort of stuff, and it looks pretty big wing, but how'd you go with that?
Yeah, the first thing you notice when you pick them up is they're just so light. I don't think there's anything on the market as light as this, especially for that size. 7 metre wing, and I was able to hold on to it and keep it going in 15 to 18 knots. You're throwing tacks in like it's a 5 metre wing.
And I guess, your handles on the 7 are quite long as well, so, you've got quite a large option to grab anywhere along that handle on both the back and the front handle there as well. So
yeah, so what I found with riding the bigger wing, and with those long handles, your hands settle into the power zone, of the wing. And similar to a wing with a boom, you've still got that adjustment where you can slide fore and aft a bit, and really dial it in and get the most power out of it, which is what you want for a low end light wind wing. But then in saying that, we were using it in 15 to 18 knots as well, and super manageable. You could crank up wind, go so fast. It's just an overall awesome wing.
Yeah, so I was riding the 6, and I found it was, as you said, we started off in like 5-7 knots, and I probably with the 6, I'm heavier than you, but I probably got foiling around the 10 knot mark with the 1480 foil, and yeah, super light, just so easy to use, and yeah, as you said with the handles, I found once the breeze picked up, as you said, 15 knots, my hands were sort of leading back on the handle, so yeah, you can move your hands around on the handles quite easily, and they're quite comfortable handles. They're squarish but quite flexible and soft, so your grip strength doesn't get wrecked with these massive big wings. But yeah, you were flying around on this thing, and in 18 knots, and I couldn't believe it. I think I said to you about 4 or 5 times, mate, we need to go in and get the 5 metre. It's building and building, and yeah, we just hung in out there, and it was quite easy to fly around on these things.
Yeah, I think the next thing that we'll see is a lot of guys using these racing. Like, we're already seeing it in Europe a lot, but they're just absolute power machines. Like, they'd be absolutely perfect for racing. Unlike smaller wings, when you sort of shade on and you can only grab so much power before it stalls. These you can just grab, pull, and just get as much power as you want and keep going. So.
Yeah, I know we've got a couple of shots of you going upwind, like really powered up with this thing, and just the shape of it looks amazing. And I know you touched on it before with the pumping. Like, how did you find like the power and the pumping and that side of things?
Yeah, for sure. It took a couple little runs to get used to the amount of power that you can get out of it. It's almost shocking. You do a couple pumps and you're almost getting pulled off the water, but yeah, once you get used to it, you can really just pump in no wind and get going. So it's gonna open up some new conditions for wing foiling. You're gonna see guys out in 6-7 knots easy, flying around and having fun, getting used to charging through the apparent wind real fast through jibes and things like that. It's gonna open up some new skills.
That's what I sort of found when in that lighter stuff, the amount of power that you generated. I'm sure we're going faster than the wind, and yeah, getting through some of the jives with the apparent, it was a little bit of a technique to work out the jibe with the apparent, but once you sort of got that worked out, it was quite easy. Super light, as you said, to just throw around, and yeah, I saw you doing some race jibes, just like it was a 3.5 metre wing. It's just crazy. So that's a wrap up of the new F1 Strike range of wings. So available now, OTB Marine, Off the Beach Marine. So website otbmarine.com.au. Shoot us an email, check out the range. Got any questions? Yeah, just shoot us a message.